Okay, stop. This looks like dog guys. Why didn't we have a bigger budget for this? This is dumb. I quit.
And we're back off the Mark Sports 95.3 WMNH. We live in La Vida Loca, as we can say. Thank you, everyone, for in Cam. I just want to thank you for this. I didn't realize I didn't have the Facebook Live up properly. So good morning to Michael Martineau, as he's one of the viewers right now on the Facebook Live. It's great to be back, and hopefully no more measles on Sunday mornings that I have to run out to Keene for, because that was just not fun last week. Nothing worse than getting sent to Salem for a story and then getting sent from Salem to Keene. There's no easy way to go from Salem to Keene. I'm not going to lie on that one. Anthony, did you
Salem, New Hampshire?
Salem, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just was not a fun way to get there. What did you think of the Live in La Vida Loca there, Anthony? Was that as fun as the other ones, or not as fun?
Probably just as fun.
Okay, that's what I was just making sure that it was. I played some. The Eye of the Tiger will still always be my favorite, just because Tiger was playing that day, and I knew that it had just come out, so that was fun. But we're gonna go into some Patriots talk for a little bit, guys, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I know it's like I said, we're halfway through the off season here, and Julian Edelman, he had a good week last week. I mean, to get a new contract that will keep him in New England for the rest of his career is pretty cool. A 2-year deal worth.
I think his career is only going to be 2 more years, man.
He's going to be 35 at that point, and he could be a Larry Fitzgerald for all we know. He could continue his career even longer, but at least
he hasn't taken as many of those Wes Welker hits either up the middle, so you never know.
Well, in his defense, he didn't even get to really play for a little bit. He wasn't the Wes Welker back in the day, but yeah, I agree. He's been able to avoid the hits, but also the rule changes have been much different than when Wes was playing.
Yeah. Well, now here's this question: is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer?
He only needs like 36 more catches in the playoffs to break Jerry Rice's reception record in the playoffs. If he can get one more, I don't want to put too much pressure on the Patriots here, but obviously we're so used to them playing in an AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl for the past, 7 years I think we're on now? 8. That if we can get one more Super Bowl out of Julian Edelman, you have to say yes.
Yeah, and I think even now, I had to think about it for a second, but after you said that about how close he is to Jerry Rice's record, and then that he's won Super Bowl MVP and he already has multiple rings, I think you have to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I think he's in there now.
You think he is in there now?
Yeah, I think so.
He's one of the few players that's not a quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. I think just he's the reason we won that Falcons game.
Wasn't he the first Super Bowl MVP to be a wide receiver since Jerry Rice too?
No, Hines Ward won it, I believe, for the Steelers, either in one of the early Super Bowls or maybe between.
I think it was 05.
Yeah, something like that.
When they took out Kurt Warner and the Arizona Cardinals there that year on that ridiculous catch by Santonio Holmes.
For a touchdown pass?
Yeah. Yes, that same one. But yeah, Edelman will be making, this year we are, getting him pretty cheap. I'm not going to lie. He's his base salary is $1 million. He's getting $8 million, and he's getting a $375,000 roster bonus. Not too shabby, but next year he's going to be getting $3 million guaranteed, $3.3 million. The numbers always sometimes confuse me because I see that the deal is worth $18 million, including, that's what it is. So he's got an $8 million signing bonus and $12 million in guaranteed money. So that's pretty good right there. That he just by signing his Julian Edelman contract, name on the contract, $8 million. I'll sign my name right now, guys. If you want to give me $8 million, I'll be yours for the next 2 years. I just throw balls at me.
I'll do
that sounded
whatever you
weird.
want.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll cook you breakfast if you want, guys.
I'll be the water boy.
I'll be the water boy.
Oh, that's not what you're paying me for.
Yes. But yeah, pretty good that he's, this is definitely the richest contract he's had in his career. And it's nice to see that, we're giving him credit for, the amount of work that he puts in and being a Super Bowl MVP.
Have the Patriots ever given a contract like that to a wide receiver? Maybe Moss?
Moss,
I don't even think we gave him that much.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we did. Because we took over the Raiders contract from him. And I think that's when he got upset, and that's why he started acting out when we finally decided to trade him to Minnesota, was because he was upset about his contract. But, I mean, it wasn't our fault that he signed it with Oakland, and we just ended up trading him here.
Didn't we trade him to San Francisco?
No, I thought that we traded Randy Moss to the Vikings.
Because I think we traded him to San Francisco, and then he couldn't hack it over there, and then they released him, and then he signed with the Vikings to retire. I don't remember.
Cam, are you looking that up on your end?
I'm trying.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Because in my head,
contracts they've given.
In my head, he went to Minnesota, and then didn't do well there. Then he went to, I believe he went to the 49ers after that, and then I believe he actually ended up his career in Tennessee. Somehow there's a Tennessee part in there, and I look forward to finding this out. But
sorry, are we still talking about Edelman?
No, we're talking about. Well, we're gonna get back into it. The Randy Moss situation where he
Randy Moss made $27 million over 3 years, so not even close.
Whew, holy smokes! Okay. Well, I would say it was well worth it because that was a really fun year and something we'll always remember right there. Yeah.
His transactions, trades. April 29th, 2007, traded by Raiders to the Patriots. Nope, you're right. He went to San Francisco after leaving
Minnesota.
Minnesota, yep.
And then
Patriots traded the 2012 7th-round pick, which turned into be Travis Lewis, to the Vikings, and Randy Moss for a 3rd-round pick that turned into Ryan Mallett.
Oh my! I would say that.
Wow, Randy Moss for Ryan Mallett. If I'm Ryan Mallett, I'm telling everybody I was traded.
I would have that as a bumper sticker on my car.
Hell yeah!
I was traded for Randy Moss.
Man.
Well,
is that maybe the most notable part about his whole career?
He got that starting job in Tennessee for a little while.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think of my favorite Ryan Mallett story, and the only one that comes to mind is he didn't show up for practice the next day with the Texans after it was announced that he didn't get the starting role, and he complained like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then it was just, guy had definitely some emotional problems or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it's difficult if you're a driven guy and you can't live up to your standards. I'm sure you felt pretty bad about not being a starter. I
would say so. I mean, dude, you're not going to hack it. You got Tom Brady in front of you, man. Good luck. Also, from what I remember, he really didn't have a very good job of. He couldn't just point. The accuracy. There we go.
Yeah.
His accuracy was not as good as Brady's is.
He threw more interceptions.
He threw more interceptions. He had a rocket of an arm. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
He could definitely throw it downfield, but you also need to be able to get those 3rd and 1 passes,
Yeah.
and land it in the guy's arms.
Yeah, so I've always said that I would love to be a backup quarterback because you don't have to really do much, and you get paid a whole bunch of money to basically be, just sit there and be a backup. And that's why I'm not in the NFL. So
that's true.
If you're a quarterback, in the NFL, you want to be starting no matter who you are.
Gentlemen, if you were to be in the NFL, what would be your position?
Probably tight end or quarterback.
At my
I'm on offense.
the way I sit right now, height, weight, and everything like that.
Yep. If the way you were going to be in the NFL, what would you be?
Jesus, I guess I would have to end up being a slot receiver.
Oh, it's true.
I don't have the height or the size to be a lineman.
Mm-hmm. I'm not fast enough to be a receiver, and I'm kind of big, so I could maybe be a tight end.
I know. I'm trying to think.
I also have a pretty good arm, so I could be a quarterback.
My only hope would be, the quarterback position would be great, but if I
could see you as a safety.
I was gonna say I was thinking even like a nickel where I could rush another quarterback, but also if I had to play out and cover a tight end or something like that, I would be able to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why in my head I was like, I feel like a nickel would be cool where like, okay, you're gonna blitz this time, but then the next play you're like, okay, you're gonna cover the tight end and just follow him around. So that's why I kind of appreciate Patrick Chung and what he is able to do with the Patriots.
Yeah.
That
if I was a defense, I'd be a pass rusher too, because I can't. I've tried to cover people just like playing backyard football, and I get burnt every time.
back in my
I have the height for defense either.
yeah that
Anthony,
Anthony.
how many 5'10" safeties or corners there are in the leagues. But
Well, you'd be surprised. The Patriots are
I'd be
drafting.
shocked actually if there was more than one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think it's always kind of fun. I remember playing
Tyrann Mathieu 5'9".
5'9".
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. Good job, Anthony. Which I just saw that he got swindled out of a family member tried to get $5 million from Tyrann
really?
Mathieu. Yeah, if you want to look that up really quickly.
Yeah.
I saw it the other day that he was figuring out that his money was slowly starting to dwindle out of this one account or something like that, and he found out that a family member was selling his stuff or something like that. $5 million worth of stuff from Tyrann Mathieu.
Wow.
So
Yeah, Matthew's cousin.
it was his cousin. Okay.
Yeah. Attempting to extort more than $1 million from Matthew.
Jeez.
Brent Sears, that's his cousin, from publicly releasing allegations of sexual misconduct against Matthew.
Oh,
tried to
this story
blackmail
gets
him?
juicier and juicier. I was not aware of this.
Court documents in the case allege that Sears contacted Matthew by phone and text, demanding amounts ranging from $1.5 million to $5 million for his silence. Sears is also accused of making threats against Matthew's family in those communications.
Oh man, this. Oof.
Yeah,
Well,
that's keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, trust
see
your-
what happens there.
love your family, but don't love them too much. Apparently, is what I'm getting out of this. Your cousin's your cousin, but at the same time, he wants $1 million for maybe something you did or didn't do. But at the same time, once it gets into the media, as we unfortunately are a part of, we tell the stories of what we hear and whether it's true or not.
Okay, so this is really confusing how it worded it though. So it said Sears 21 is Matthew's cousin. He is under federal indictment for attempting to extort more than $1 million from Matthew. Doesn't that sound strange how they worded that?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely worded a little interestingly.
Anyways, hopefully the allegations aren't true against Matthew.
Yeah, I
about
agree with
sexual
that.
misconduct. But I
Um,
feel like this probably, I don't know, maybe he was just trying to make up a BS story and hope it would catch fire.
that
Who knows?
From the way it's sounding, yes. Going back to baseball for a moment here, Anthony. Michael Chavis, 10 home runs in his first 29 games. He's only 3 behind the home run leader for the team, Mitch Moreland, which is still weird to think.
Mm-hmm.
But Chavis might be interested in being part of the home run derby this year if he keeps going the way he is.
He's confident, huh?
That would be incredible.
I mean, David Ortiz, I think, was the last Red Sox player to do it, and he ended up winning it that year. It's just interesting to know that this, 23-year-old guy who
How
just
does JD Martinez not do it last year?
A lot of guys don't like doing it.
Uh,
They think it messes up their swing and stuff like
it
that.
worked for Judge. He cranked him left and right, but it didn't end up working. And come September, I remember didn't he break the strikeout record that year?
he might have. I know he struck out pretty much, 1 every 2 times.
Yeah, I think he broke the strikeout the year that he won the home run derby. He ended up breaking the strikeout record. So kudos to Babe Ruth for having those records now. But now
Shout out Babe Ruth.
The
Who would
great
bat like
Bambino.
210 in the league at this point if he played.
Oh yeah.
oh man, can you imagine that? Seeing him run around the bases?
He'd be like this generation's Adam Dunn if he was in the league right now. I'm sold on that idea.
What like how fast did pitchers throw the ball back then? Was it about the same? I imagine it would
No, I think it was only.
No way. It was like 70s.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was mostly 70s. So
That's why they were able to win like 35 games a year and pitch every other day because they were throwing like
meatballs and
6 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour.
But a couple weeks ago, guys, I did appreciate going to the. I had to do a homework assignment where I had to go to a museum, and
Yeah, you never sent me that link, by the way.
oh, I'm sorry, guys. The online museum I had to pick was the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I had a blast. Just here, I wasn't even walking there, but I was just reading all the different things. I mean, you can only zoom in so far on some of the things. You can only read so much, but the Babe Ruth information was just like. The guy. Now I understand why they joke about it in the Sandlot, and here we are, almost 100 years past his prime, past his time, and we still, talk about him like he just played 20 years ago.
It's a game of legends, man.
That's a very good point. I mean, hopefully Tom Brady will get the same respect in due time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Have you seen the videos of them working him out? Like,
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh,
like,
my
you can
God.
throw a ball, perfect. Oh, look how far you can throw the ball. Oh, let's sign you.
they were literally throwing a medicine ball off of his stomach. That was like a workout that they did with him.
Oh.
He can
Best
catch
player
Andy
of
the
all
hot dog
time,
at the
dead
same
by
time.
50. Really makes sense.
I wonder if he would have a chance at the the hot dog eating record if we were to have that back in the day for him.
Perhaps.
He'd have a better shot at that than the home run record.
Fair but true. It's a very good point right here.
Hot takes.
A lot of hot takes going on right now. Going back to the Patriots,
Trash.
Hot dog takes.
hot dog takes here on Off the Mark Sports. If we can't talk sports, we'll talk hot dogs for you. Yeah, we'll get into that. Obviously, it's now that it's going to be grilling season, we can get into all sorts of different hot dogs. I haven't had a Dodger dog, but I can tell you that a lot of people swear by the Fenway Frank. I'm not sure the difference,
I
really.
like the Kayam.
The Kayam?
Kayam guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a big dog guy.
You're not a big dog guy. I mean,
I eat them when they're around.
if
I never go out and buy myself.
Yeah,
I
it's-
always get one when I go to Fenway. It's just a thing that I have to do where I go for 2 beers and a dog. But
2 beers and a dog, okay.
that's my only thing I get every time.
I go for the Italian subs they sell right outside.
Yeah, those are
Oh,
worth
yeah,
like the
the guy
$6,
out by, like,
$7.
Oh yeah.
House of Blues, that guy's hilarious.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Another nice familiar face that we are going to be seeing if he can make the team. Jamie Collins coming back to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's
kind of
right.
interesting thing. I didn't see that coming because from what I heard, he was spewing some bad things about the Patriots when he got traded to Cleveland. That was one of my favorite things where
The Patriots are kind of dragging him through the mud too, though.
Yeah, there was both sides of to know that they're all back together now. Hopefully they can. I thought the Jamie Collins trade was interesting because we traded him, and then the draft pick that we got from him, we end up trading to New Orleans for Brandon Cooks. Got Brandon Cooks, traded him, and the draft picks that we got from him are Isaiah Wynn, who we haven't really seen, but he should be playing right guard this year if he can handle it, and a wide receiver that we got who he was on the IR last year, but from what he'd been saying, he could be the next Julian Edelman and stuff like that, and
Yeah, we
Barrios.
drafted well these last couple of years.
We have drafted well. It just they can't get through sometimes through I want to say spring training, but it's not spring training. It's preseason, OTAs, yeah, stuff like that. It's tough to see these guys get injured, and you're like, dang,
camp.
I had high hopes for you, and now you're on the IR for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Also, yeah, with potentially getting Jamie Collins back if he can, make the team.
If he can make the team, exactly.
That like our pass rush just became, on paper one of the best in the league with Vinovich, Van Noy, possibly Jamie Collins. I I'm feeling pretty good about that.
I mean, yeah, so we're talking about football in May here, but at the same time, it's like there's not one area of the team that I'm just like, early in the off season, we were all worried about wide receivers. Now at this point, we have a huge back. I mean, N'Keal Harry, we know he's going to be making the team. I know, I got to get used to saying it.
Both of you did that.
N'Keal Harry, is that better?
Yes.
Oh, is it N'Keal?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So we're all right. Well,
you guys aren't the only one. I've been hearing the same thing, like just listening to Boston Sports Radio. Tons of people do that.
N'Keal Harry, Dorsett. He had a good spot. He caught a huge touchdown in the Kansas City AFC Championship game. When he's dependent on, he sometimes does deliver at least 2 catches a game.
Yeah. I've come around on Dorsett. I thought he was hot garbage, and he's like, he's pretty good.
He's lukewarm
right.
garbage.
Yeah, he's more. Maybe garbage is too harsh. He's recyclable.
He was put in the microwave for 45 seconds, and you're like, you're hungry enough that it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we can agree with that. Like, it's not just, oh god, this is so gross. It's like, okay, it's 40. I wish it could have gone another 15 to
He's
30 seconds.
microwaved pizza.
Microwave pizza, yes. Philip Dorsett. Boom. Write that down.
Philip Dorsett, Elios.
Elios Pizza, the official pizza of Philip Dorsett.
Elios, if you want to sponsor us.
Yes, Elios. We'll be writing that to you guys. So I'll have my people talk to your people.
Although
New Jersey, I believe, but still,
it's not delivery. It's Dorsett.
It's
I like that.
Well, we could. Unfortunately, we only have like a little bit more than a half hour out of the rest of the show, but we can keep going. But I'm just trying to get through the wide receivers that we have so far on paper. Obviously, we can only keep 5 to sometimes 6. I know that Harry's going to be making the team. Edelman will be making the team. Dorsett, I think would. Dontrell Inman, interesting pickup. He's also 6'4". I think he weighs in at about 195. He's got some speed. He's got some height. He's got decent hands. He just wasn't needed anymore for the Chargers.
I don't know. It baffles me why they brought him in when we have N'Keal Harry, who's like a little bit faster, and he's also a big guy. And
he's 30 years old too.
Maybe they just brought him in to motivate Harry.
Maybe
give him some competition or something.
Keep him in there to when we figure out what the heck's going on with Josh Gordon, if he is ever able to come back.
I don't even want to speculate on that. I'm just going to assume he's not coming back until we hear he's coming back.
Okay. Braxton Berrios is the name I was talking about earlier, who is looking very good. I mean, for all we might see out of him, he could be a punt return team.
Yeah.
But
and if he does really well, there's already a great nickname for him that I'd love to start calling him, Honey Nut Berrios.
Honey Nut Berrios.
Yeah. I heard it thrown around a bit a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year.
Jacoby Myers, I believe, is another name that we drafted this offseason. There's a lot of wide receivers that are open for only a couple positions. So it's going to be interesting. I've enjoyed seeing the locker room numbers so far. Yeah. Oh, so.
Hey, Kyle.
What's up?
Check the computer in a second. I got to run out.
Check the computer.
Yeah, I'm going to call back. It's just on my phone.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. Well, thanks for the heads up there.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew that he had to run out for a little bit there, so that's I totally understand. But on the bubble, from what they have here, this is Doug Haid, who's a pretty cool guy. I've gotten to talk to him a bunch of times. He works for Nesson. He wrote a list. Obviously, this is still early in the from what he's been seeing from practice. Oh, look at that.
Wasn't lying.
Well, good sir, you are really impressive how quick that was. Oh, your buddy's birthday.
Sorry, what did you say?
You're going to a birthday party, I hear.
Yeah, I'm doing something like that. I'm not really sure what it is yet, but I was told I didn't have to drive, so I'm just gonna show up.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Wow, I didn't know now. Harry was 228 pounds. I was not aware of this.
228.
228 pounds. Looking at his
guy.
size, and I didn't realize he was that big. All right. But yes, squad. Barrios is looking like a practice squad so far. Ryan Davis, Jacoby Myers, Damon Patterson, Xavier Ubozi. Just a name like that, you sound like he sounds like a very fast player.
What?
I don't know, Xavier Ubozi. It just sounds like a fast guy. But he's, it's fun that we get to talk about this. But gents, I since we didn't have the show, I've saved up a lot of Heavies Heavies for you. If you want to hear, I know we can talk sports some more.
We can do that. I also have a few stories of my PGA experience.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad to. Absolutely.
So, what do you want to hear first? You want to hear about who I got to see, or
yes.
what was the most?
I mean, you drove all the way down there, PGA tournament. What was the tournament again?
The PGA Championship at Bethpage.
The championships.
Yeah, Bethpage Black.
A major championship for the golf world. You got to see.
Yep. So we got there a little bit late in the afternoon. Tiger and Brooks and Molinari had already teed off. So instead of trying to catch up
how
with
early
them,
was this?
They teed off in the afternoon at like 1:49, I think.
Okay.
And we got there like around 2.
Okay.
Did you go to Bethpage?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So instead of trying to catch up with them, two old men who clearly were veterans, had been here before, or maybe not at that one, but been to championships before, were like, instead of catching up with them, what you should do is go around back and try to intercept them. Instead of walking from the first hole to the second hole to the third hole, go from 18 to 17 to 16 to 15.
Okay.
So we ended up just waiting for. We found a nice spot on the next to the green on the 13. And sat there and waited for Tiger and Molinari and Koepka to come by. So while we were waiting, we saw Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, Henrik Stenson, bunch of other guys. And I know Tiger had a pretty rough outing, but
very much
on that hole, he got a birdie. We got to see it.
Yeah!
So that was cool. After that, we went to the 15. We saw Koepka and Tiger and Molinari tee off. And dude, watching Koepka tee off, it's like, I mean, just looking at him, you can tell he's like a physical specimen. He stands out from other golfers in the way that he looks like a hockey player or a football player. Yeah, just a huge, like, tall guy. But when you see him tee off and right in front of you and see all the power in his swing, it's like, holy crap. So yeah, he was launching balls like 200, 300 yards.
Sorry, this is Tiger, right?
No, this is Koepka.
This is Koepka, who ended up winning the major.
I may have developed a little bit of a man crush on Koepka. Let me say. So
did you hear him on Pardon My Take a couple weeks ago?
I did. Yeah, I listened. I listened to that on my way to the tournament.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So we were yelling Gucci bra at him and stuff. So that was fun. After that, we went to the green on the 18 and just watched pretty much everyone ahead of them finish up. While we were on the 18 hole, and Tiger and his group started getting closer, more cameras started coming out and gathering around the green. And I believe it was the CBS crew was like set up right in front of us. And if you leaned around them, you could see the hole and stuff, but it did kind of ruin the shot. But there's one guy who was next to us who said he had been standing there for like 3 or 4 hours. He was 3 sheets to the wind. I don't know how much he had to drink, but
oh my!
He was.
Hey, the concessions at golf events are cheap, man.
No,
Are they really?
not?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm like, I don't think that's.
Really?
Dude,
No.
it was like $11 for a Budweiser.
I went to the Deutsche Bank a few years ago, and it was like, I think it was like $5 for a beer or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it depends on the.
Not at Bethpage. Yeah, I paid $11 for a Budweiser. So I had 2 Budweisers and a sandwich, and I spent like over $30.
Were they draft or bottle?
Bottle.
Oh.
Yeah, they were in those aluminum bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was fine. I kind of expected to be paying that much. So we're on the 18. This drunk guy who can barely even stand up, and his wife is like just as drunk as him. But she's trying to like quiet him down. So he's yelling at the camera guys the whole time.
Oh,
like he's like,
my.
we've been here for 3 hours. Like the sun's over there. You want, it's in your shot, and like trying to tell them how to do their job and stuff. And you know just as well as I do, Kyle, that those guys were probably like told that's where you're gonna be by PGA, and you can't move. So I mean, we were trying to like tell them like, hey, like they're just doing their job. And this one other guy next to me was getting really mad at him. I thought he was gonna like try to fight him or something. But what really angered me was when Tiger was about to putt. I think it was his first putt on the green. And he could have, I think it was either for birdie or for par. He could have made either birdie or par. Right as Tiger's about to putt, some dude behind the drunk guy like taps him on the shoulder and like says something, and the guy like I forget what he said, but he said something really loud, like almost like he was like yelling, right as Tiger was putting, and then Tiger missed the putt.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's awful.
so everyone got really mad at that guy. I'm shocked he didn't get thrown out, dude. I don't know how PGA didn't kick this guy out.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
My dad got told to quiet down by Tiger Woods once.
Really?
Yeah, when we went to that tournament in Boston, he like said, "Hey, Tiger," like while he was just walking to the hole or something like that, and he just like put up like the shush sign.
Wow.
Ricky Fowler's caddy had to do that on the 13 to a couple of fans who were yelling something. He walked over with his hands up,
Oh my.
But yeah,
Golf is, I mean, it's tough because the game is so mental. Like there's just so much going on in your head of rethinking what you have to do, the distance, the wind speed, the crowd. It's definitely a very tough sport to do.
Oh yeah.
And I used to be way passionate. Like, yeah, I get the way that Edelman and Brady, you can see that they have the passion. And I used to be that way in every single sport. I've calmed down because I was such a dick, and I'm like, I'm playing in a an amateur sport here. I'm
Right.
playing a beer league, yet I'm feeling like I'm playing for the World Series.
Yeah. So actually, before we went to that tournament, we did a little bit of golfing on our own.
Oh, okay.
In New Jersey, at Mercer Oaks Country Club, and that was just a disaster.
Oh, was it really?
We showed up on the wrong day for our tee time.
Oh.
We thought it was Thursday. We showed up. We thought it was Wednesday, and it was on Thursday. So they moved some things around and get us in for at 2:00, and we were there at like 1:45 or something like that. And the two ladies that we get paired up with, they're older women, probably in like their 50s. And we're like, hello, like, hi, how are you? Exchange pleasantries, and like, we're really bad, so don't wait up for us. And they're like, oh, it's okay, we're really bad too. And we're like, no, you don't understand. So my friend tees off, and his ball like skips along the fairway, but at least it goes straight. I tee off, and my bar goes like 2 feet to the left. So
oh my.
that was
Damn,
embarrassing.
sounds like we need to go golfing together. Sounds like we hit the same.
Yeah, we should work on our game.
I would
There's
say,
some good 9-holes
I
around
feel
here.
like there's a.
I just brought my clubs up to Nashua, so I'm down.
I'm using my
Between two
dad's
courses.
hand-me-downs.
Now, Cam, are you generally
Same
working?
here.
Yeah.
Are you generally working on Sundays?
Generally not.
And Anthony, you're off on Sundays, right?
Yep.
All right, so we can figure this out.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a couple days where, unfortunately, I've got weddings and bachelor parties that I don't think I'll. The bachelor party weekend we can probably do in the evening. It's Father's Day as well, though, so that's why we'll have to figure this out.
When's that coming up?
That is in I believe it's in
June.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
That Father's Day.
Okay, plenty of time.
So I mean, just another day that we got to remember, guys, because we did it for our mamas. Now we got to do it for our papas. That just sound like Tupac or something like that. But yes, I know that the Father's Day weekend I have a bachelor party in Atlantic City, so I'll be heading down to Jersey as well.
There you go.
I have a feeling it's
Going
going
to
to
any casinos?
Yeah, we're gonna try to do some casinoing down there, and I just don't know how much. So that's why I look forward to telling the stories.
I did some casinoing. stopped by Twin River.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Lost like $320 at the poker
I
table.
remember when
God.
you were telling us about how you're going there.
Yeah, a one
You're
big on a.
betting on the Bruins?
No, I lost all my money at the poker table, so I didn't have any money to bet on the Bruins. So, yeah, I won big on a couple hands and got too greedy, and then I lost big.
Oh,
So,
that's
lost some
such
money.
is life sometimes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we all think that. Okay, I got 2 kings. I should be good. I'll go all in. All of a sudden, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
they have a full house.
yeah, I had jacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's I could see that being a good call.
Yeah, but they had kings, I think. Yeah.
Well, I hope they spent it unwisely. That's all I got.
If it was me, I would have blown it on my vacation. So hopefully they spent it more wisely than I would have.
Yeah, so today is Sunday the 26th. Father's Day is Sunday the 16th. So yes, it's 3 weeks away from today. And no gambling at all at Twins River besides poker then there, Cam,
Yeah,
huh?
just strictly poker, and
Alright.
had some drinks, a couple cigars.
Ooh, I didn't know you could still smoke cigars in there as well.
Oh, dude, so when you walk in, right away it smells like smoke.
Okay.
The whole first floor is smoking, and then to go to the non-smoking, you got to go up the escalator, which I think is
anybody to have a reason to go outside.
yeah, right.
That's a very good point. Well, I do have to throw in some. You guys might have heard these stories. You might not have heard these stories, but these are my heavies heavies for the week.
Let's do it.
Oh snap!
Marlboro, Mass. We've all been there once or twice. You
Pass
know,
through.
you passed through it for sure. You know where it is. This one was my favorite story last week. I don't know why this guy even called to complain, but someone had broken into his house and cleaned his house.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yes, the Massachusetts owner came home last week to find that someone had broken into his residence, but after a quick search of the house, he realized nothing was wrong. In fact, it was perfectly made up, and it was more perfect than how he had left it.
It was his mom.
So this is the second Heavies Heavies week in a row where somebody has broken into somebody's house, whether on drugs or not, and either done the dishes or cleaned the house. What is going on? Where is this drug?
Well, we can get into the drug story, the next one here, because this guy out in California, he repairs different television parts and music parts, and he works for a TV station, and he was given this synthesizer to clean. And it was a very rare synthesizer that he was one of very few to be able to know how to fix in the world. Well, there was some sort of substance on the synthesizer. Didn't really think much of it. And next thing you know, it was acid.
Oh,
He-
like the drug.
the drug acid. He ended up, being, he was tripping on LSD.
Yeah.
He noticed the substance. About 45 minutes later, began to feel a strange tingling sensation.
Ooh.
And next,
Wait, was it in powder form?
let's see if I can read this really quickly. Let's see. It was examined the synthesizer's inner mechanics. During the process, he noticed a crust or crystalline residue stuck under one of the knobs. Apparently,
I've
this
heard
is.
it's in its purest form that way too. So that's
So what did he touch it?
He touched it, and
He touched it and he tripped.
he tripped for, get this, 9 hours.
What?
This was a synthesizer used by the Grateful Dead in 1964.
whoa, that's Jerry's acid.
No one has come forward on why if they're hiding the stash in the synthesizer or what was going on, but the guy unfortunately, had the purest LSD to ever hit the street.
He's probably railing lines of it off of his keyboard.
You gotta think too. That stuff, I did a project on it in college, and for that to last 40 years, usually you have to store that kind of stuff in the freezer.
Okay.
Keep
That's
it
insane.
At its potency.
Yeah, it was stored at a Cal State office room, so it was still in a very safe spot. But it is now back for the. It's been cleaned and is back at Cal State for music students to study, and hopefully find some more LSD in
Obviously
there.
not.
That'll
Yeah.
be studied hard by college students.
Manchester man here struck by car after robbing Domino's Pizza and fleeing on foot.
Did he go back to get a new pizza?
I don't think he went to go back to get a new pizza, but yeah, he was hit by a car while attempting to flee after robbing a Domino's. 11:29 a.m. There's not much money at a Domino's at 11:29 a.m. Apparently, he was very needing to get something here.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, they probably have a lot of money from like 3 in the morning or the night before.
That's a good point. I figured they would go to the bank by that point. But the guy, he was able to limp away for a little bit. He was able to actually, he was not found for a good 3 hours before he was finally found behind a different restaurant. So kudos to Mr. What's his name? James Goutreau, 28-year-old, for trying to successfully rob a Domino's, but unsuccessfully get away. Next one goes to Australia here.
Great down under.
Apparently, scientists were not able to figure out a sound for 17 years.
Oh, I love this story.
You love this story.
This is a great one.
So,
What?
This is a great one.
For 17 years, astronomers at a well-known Australian radio telescope known as the Dish were finding a strange, vexing interference. So every now and then they would get this strange interference sound, possibly aliens, possibly something else, and they couldn't figure out what it was. It was within 5 kilometers, which is, 3.2 miles away?
Sounds about right.
Come to find out, it was a microwave oven within the station that was turning on all the signals for the interference. A microwave oven for 17 years. I'm impressed that they had a microwave oven for 17 years that didn't break or anything
Put
like
your
that.
microwave in airplane mode, folks.
Yep, so yes, no aliens so far. It would also go off sometimes for lightning strikes because of the electricity in the air, but they finally figured out after 17 years aliens are not found.
That's incredible.
Or that's what they want you to believe.
I'm gonna.
Oh, drop the X-Files noise.
Dun, dun.
I got 2 more for you. This one's my favorite just because it's so wrong, and the guy's mugshot just looks so bad. An Oregon dad swiped over $700 from his daughter's Girl Scout cookie fund. Yes, his daughter sold $700 worth of Girl Scout cookies, and then told her the money was taken during a home invasion.
Wow.
When in fact that was not true. He spent it all on erotic massages.
Oh, no.
No word if Robert Kraft was there in Oregon to be a part of Brian Kuchar's main plan, but he has been found guilty and is serving 18 months of probation, 800 hours of community service, and restitution as part of a plea deal. The 40-year-old is accused of lying to police back on March 6th when he called 911 and claimed his house had been broken into. He even called 911 to claim that his house was broken into when actually he was taking that money to get erotic massages.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That
reminds me of that beginning of Grandma's Boy, where he takes all the rent checks to like Madame Kamei's or something like that.
So yes, everyone, do not steal $700 out of your daughter's fund to go get erotic massages. That's my take on the day. God, I do have some more. I'll save these because this is the last one. Gentlemen, you don't have any dogs, correct?
Nope.
My dad has a dog.
Your dad has a dog. Well, this man passed away down in Chesterfield, Virginia, and he had his dog euthanized to fulfill his dream of dying with his dog.
That's messed up.
What the hell?
And thank you. Yes. The dog, completely healthy, was unfortunately put down to be buried with his owner at...
How is that not animal cruelty?
I don't understand this myself. That's why I want to see you guys' take on this, because I think it's just morally wrong to kill a perfectly dog because his owner wants it to die with him.
I wish that guy could come back to life so we could kill him again.
A handful of states allow humans to be cremated and have their ashes buried in pet cemeteries as well. Others allow pets to be buried with human remains in a family plot or yeah, it's very true. That's very true. Think about the veterinarian who had to put down this healthy dog.
I would have refused to do it if I was the vet. I would have just been like, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
then they interviewed some other veterinarians who said they wouldn't do it. It kills me because I
wonder if that vet was his first choice or if he went to other ones and they were like, nope.
So I don't even have the guy's name. I just know that the story was a big deal down here in Virginia, and I hope New Hampshire has that law. I'm not, obviously we're not a political station or anything like that, or not a political show, but I hope New Hampshire doesn't allow that because dogs deserve to stay alive. All dogs matter, okay? Except for ones that bite you. I don't like those ones as well. But yeah, game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals is going on tomorrow. Blues, Bruins.
Right.
We're gonna have to get used to seeing that Bobby Orr, film over and over again. Whoa,
Yep.
you all right there, Anthony?
Yeah, it's just my windshield wiper fluid sensor going off.
Well, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh God, is he about to crash or
my car
what?
too loud? I can turn my mic off.
It's all right. We only got a few minutes left, and it's been fun thinking about we're driving down the road. And were you on the highway?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been kind of funny to think about where you might be going at this point. But yeah,
Where in the world, brother?
I have a bunch more for next
Mr.
time. Next week, Cam, this one's for you. I look forward to getting your take on this one. But it was tough. I saved so many heavies heavies, but I only have so much time. But yes, Bruins Blues tomorrow night, gentlemen. I'm thinking you're gonna go Bruins in this, but how many games are you thinking for this?
Gentleman's sweep.
Oh, you're gonna go 4.
No, gentleman's sweep is 5.
Oh, because you're gonna give him 1 game to be a gentleman to win. Okay,
I'm going to go 6.
gonna go
Yeah,
6.
Bruins in 6.
The odds are pretty good for 6 right now. I was just looking at the odds before I left on how many games I think the series will be. I think it's like plus 200 for 6 and plus 250 for 5, and it's like plus 350 for a sweep. So
Yeah.
I mean,
put your bets in, guys.
I kind of hope that doesn't happen, but I think the Bruins might win the first game or lose the first game.
lose the first game
Yeah,
on their home
Are
ice.
we?
we'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we playing at home?
Yeah, we
still
are
the
playing
higher
at home.
seed?
Yeah,
We are the higher
Nice.
seed, so we do
Awesome.
have.
but just I know the rest thing is we said it's pretty much going to be even par, but we could be wrong.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's the only thing I'm taking.
Hey,
into
the Blues
consideration.
didn't play a game on Thursday.
That's true.
That's
Got that
true.
going for us.
So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna go 5 as well.
Cam, you guys got anything going on at the bar Monday?
Yeah, I'll be working actually.
right,
I don't think
I
we're
might
doing
see ya.
anything for the Bruins, but yeah, if you come on by,
I probably will.
we're
and then
the puck drops like when we're supposed to close. So we'll see.
yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, if it's busy, if there's still people there having a good time, usually we'll stay open a little bit, but we probably won't be open the whole game.
obviously Manchester has Billy's as our well-known sports bar in the city here.
Dude, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Thirsty Moose is, at least
Thirsty Moose-
competing for it.
And I agree. There's a lot more. They both have a lot of TVs.
They have a lot of TVs. They have really good drink deals where like you can get a Budweiser for like $2 during a Bruins or a Boston game. I'm not sure if that's still happening. They were doing that last year. And their wings are not the same as Billy's, but also very, very good.
Oh man. And then we got the Red Sox. We are trying to avoid the sweep today. 2:05 start versus the Houston Astros. Looking at the rest of the week, hopefully we can get something together because playing 500 baseball again is not my favorite thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah, today's gonna be a little scary. Eddie Rodriguez versus Justin Verlander. I was looking at the BVP for Eduardo Rodriguez, the batters versus players like statistic. They're batting like a solid 300 against him.
Oh, man.
So yeah, then we come back home. We got a 3-game series versus the Cleveland Indians this week. I give props to the Red Sox for starting the games early on both Monday and Wednesday for the Bruins games. Tomorrow's game versus the Indians, 4:05 start for the Red Sox, so that way the baseball game will be over by the time the Bruins game starts, hopefully.
think MLB kind of has to do that if they want anyone to watch.
I agree with that. And then on Wednesday, it's a 6:10 start for the Indians Red Sox. So that way you can watch the game for 2 hours before the Stanley Cup final starts.
Yeah.
And then next weekend, hopefully we can have some happiness. We got a series versus the Yankees here coming up. They took the first 2 games for us this season. And, being that they're 7.5 games up, we got to get something going on. It's a 4-game series next weekend. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, that weekend could be the weekend the Cup gets won.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have a lot of sports talk this week, and look forward to hopefully seeing a Stanley Cup final and going, 13-5 so far in the last 18 years for championships in Boston. It's been a great time.
So if there's a game 6, it's on Sunday. If there's a game 5, it's on Thursday.
Oh,
a long break between game 5 and game 6.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. So wait, games 1 and 2 are Monday and Wednesday. When's game 3? Is that next Friday?
Oh, wait, no. So, yeah, actually, game 3 would be Saturday, June 1st. Game 4 would be Monday, June 3rd. Game 5 would be June 6th, Thursday. Game 6 would be Sunday, June 9th.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully
So
we don't have to worry about all this,
yeah.
and we can just get this sweep out of the way. But time will tell. Anthony, I know you got a. How far away is this birthday party?
I have no idea. I'm just. I think we're going to Newburyport. I don't know what we're doing. But
Oh, gorgeous day to be in the ocean there, man. That's going to be a good time.
I hope so.
You like breweries? Hit up Newburyport Brewing Company.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think that's what we might be doing is going to either look for a brewery or do something along those lines. So Newburyport Brewing Company.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They distribute at least around New England.
Well, I think
know.
I think you just found your new destination for the day.
Yep.
I'll be covering the Fisher Cats. We lost a tough one last night. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats. They hit 2 home runs. We're up 4-1, but end up giving up a bunch of runs in the 8th and 9th inning, and end up losing the game 5-4. So, of course,
Keep going.
I unfortunately could not see the whole game. Apparently, when I left, they lost their mojo because I had to go down to Nashua for that deck collapse last night.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know, Anthony, if you saw that story, but it was there was a bit of a party, a semi-formal, so you're talking like 13, 14-year-olds, and there was 30 of them on this deck, and it couldn't handle the weight and ended up falling. And
Oh, my God.
yes.
Oh, I was at the movies watching The Avengers for the 4th time.
4th time. Oh boy.
I'm going to see John Wick 3 this afternoon.
John Wick 3, a beautiful afternoon, and I'm gonna go to the Fisher Cats game. 1:35 starts, and hopefully bring some magic because they haven't had it so far. I want to say.
Oh, yeah, speaking of the Fisher Cats, too, shout out to one of our other boys out of the trio coming out of New Hampshire last year, Biggio, up to the majors.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Nice.
Thank you for this.
Yep, they just brought him up last Thursday, Friday, they announced it.
Oh man, unreal.
Him and Craig were at the ballpark together. It was a good picture.
That's so cool. That's so cool. It was great to meet Craig Biggio last year. He seemed a little perturbed that I would interrupt the game, but it's okay. I still got to meet him for a quick moment.
Keep rubbing it in, man.
My condolences to the Manchester Monarchs, Parker Wheeler and Matt Johnson. They were phenomenal to me over the years for giving me information and letting me go to games and interview players. And unfortunately, after 18 years, the Manchester Monarchs, as we all know, are no longer a team here in the Manchester, New Hampshire for AA or AAA hockey. So
Pour one out tonight for the Monarchs.
yeah, I enjoyed my time there. Unfortunately, as we saw over the past 7 years, the fan attendance was not that high, and they felt that there was no need to keep this team in, and their contract was up with the arena, and hopefully they can still find a home somewhere else. But the Manchester Monarchs, what we've known for 18 years, a lot of memories there and at that arena from last season's run where they had triple overtime games, and back to 2015 when they ended up winning it all in their last season as an AHL team.
Right.
I give them lots of credit, and I wish everyone the best because it's you don't like to see your friends lose their jobs,
Yeah.
And Parker Wheeler was nice enough to always be able to give us sound or interviews and information, and even take us to the Monarchs, and it's a tough thing. So we'll see what happens with the SNHU arena. I still want to call it the Verizon. So for now we only have one team, one really big name team, and that's the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. So hopefully fans get out there. It was a good night at the ballpark last night. There was actually a good amount of people. So. But yeah, obviously hockey is the big thing around here. We're going to go root for the Bruins. Love seeing them playing in June again. And hopefully we can get another memorial, or not memorial, but another statue after this Stanley Cup of Patrice. I'm going to root for Patrice. I want a statue of Patrice in due time. Maybe he can do something pretty cool.
You should just put up a brick wall and put
Call
a little
Tuca?
plaque on there that says Tuca.
I like that. We might be onto something, guys. But I'm gonna end this show a little bit early today. We, as much as we can keep talking, I believe we've been slacking on ending this on a good note here. So, for Peter White in the morning, Matt Contrin in the afternoon, we get all sorts of shows. Greatest State of Mind. Thank you everyone for listening to 95.3 WMNH. Off the Mark Sports is always here for your entertainment, and you can listen to us on Podbean, and our other shows are on Wednesday nights as well. So, we'll take care, everyone. Gentlemen, any last words for you?
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
Go Sox.
Go Sox. Have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your Memorial Day.
See ya.
Chester's Radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA.
This is 95.3 FM WMNH. You're listening to Making a Difference, programs by organizations in Manchester for Manchester.
Happy spring. You are listening to Through the Stage Door with the Majestic Theater on WMNH 95.3. We're a bi-weekly program that tells you about what's happening on stage at Majestic Theater, as well as the musical sounds from the Ted Herbert Music School. For more information about Majestic Theater or Ted Herbert's, you can give us a call at 669-7469 or visit us on the web at www.majestictheater.net or www.tedherbert.com. My name is not B. Arthur, although I do sound like B. Arthur right now. I've got that summer, winter, whatever you want to call it, cold. So we're going to get through this today, and today we're going to talk about all things warm because, it's now May 15th when we're taping this show, and it's still 55 degrees out, cold and windy and rainy. So we're hoping the sun comes out soon. Today we're going to talk about some warm stuff. We're going to have summer on the mind today to kind of get us going, and hopefully this program will help tell Mr. Sunshine that he is way overdue and we need him. But as always, we want to make sure that we tell you what's happening at Majestic Theater. I didn't tell you who I am, though. I am Robert Diane. I'm the Artistic Director of Majestic Theater and the Administrator of Ted Herbert's. We're kind of on an in-between week right now. We've just cast a few of our summer shows, and those are now in rehearsal. We're very excited. So even though it is the end of our season, we do have lots of stuff left. And let me give you the dates. As I said, you can always go to the website to get dates and times of everything. But I like to highlight stuff here, too, because it gives you, if you hear something you say, oh, that sounds interesting, then you can head to the website and get more information. First thing is, many of you know I do a piano vocal cabaret throughout New England, mostly in Algonquin, Maine. If you're ever up in Algonquin, Maine, come and see me at the front porch, where I play a couple nights a week. Most of the Ted Herbert instructors, including myself, are professional musicians, so we're out there playing. We're making a living as musicians, which is really great. And I'm doing a cabaret, though, locally on June 1st. And I do about 4 cabarets a year at Majestic Theater at our Page Street Studio Theater. And I'll tell you, it's great because, you get an audience of people that are really there and want to participate, want to interact, want to have fun. And some people just come and listen to the music. And it's great to have a theater full of people doing piano bar, singing along, all that fun stuff. And I'm doing, my next one is actually on June 1st, which I can't believe it's less than a month away because we're already halfway through May. Time does fly. I'm doing an on Broadway, which is all Broadway music, on June 1st, Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Majestic Studio Theater. You can get tickets. Tickets are $12. All the proceeds for that do go towards the Majestic Theater and our future programs. If you've never been to a piano bar, I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. And you don't have to be a singer. You don't have to be a great singer. You don't have to know all the words. Part of it is the fun in the community that is built when we're literally just singing and I'm playing tunes. Audience members can sing along as they want. And that's the first half, is all Broadway tunes. And I'll start like with the old Broadway stuff, and I'll play my way through all the way through some of the more modern shows. I have to admit, I'm learning some of the newer shows because there's a couple newer shows that are very, very popular and that I'm starting to get more and more requests for. But we'll do all the chestnuts, all the shows from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. So definitely join us for that, June 1st, Saturday at 7 p.m. Do recommend tickets in advance if you can get them, because the theater only seats about 150, and honestly, we usually fill the space when we do these. So check it out. And as always, the second half, I do requests. So if you have a special song that you want to hear, and I don't always get to all of them because there's usually about 50 or 60 requests. And the second half of the program after intermission is all requests. I literally pull them out of a hat and I play your requests. So it's a lot of fun. I have a great time doing it because, like I said, it's a lot of fun for me. Audience is really into it. It's just a really, really great evening of music. So definitely join us. That's the Robert Dion Piano Vocal Cabaret, happening June 1st at the Majestic Studio Theater, 880 Page Street. And then we head into our summer season. But our summer season this year, we're doing something a little different. We have we've always done 3 shows in the summer, and forever and ever and ever and ever. And this year we kind of changed things up a little bit. Part of the reason for that is we have found that August is the hardest month to cast a show for, because actors that are in a show in August have to pretty much rehearse all summer. And let's face it, we all love music and theater, but who wants to rehearse, several nights a week and weekends all summer for an August show? And that's why for many years we did the Nonsense series, because we had the same cast every year. We'd rehearse the show mostly in the spring, take some time off during the summer, and then, a couple weeks before the show, we get the show ready. But what we're doing this year is we're actually doing 3 big events this summer. We're doing a non-musical called The Man Who Came to Dinner. That's in June. We're doing the musical Jekyll and Hyde, which is in July. And then in August, we're doing a concert by the Rockin' Daddy-O's and their group and their band. So let me tell you a little bit about those, because I'm wicked excited. We've just cast Jekyll and Hyde and Man Who Came to Dinner, and I have to tell you, folks, we have some great actors that work with us and for us, and I'm so very excited for these 2 shows, because looking at who is cast in these shows and the teams that are working on the directing end of things, it's gonna really, really be a good summer of theater. So definitely want to check those out. And I'll obviously, in the next couple months before that, I'll have, if you're faithful to these programs, I'll have actors on and directors on to talk about each one. But I wanted to give you a little taste of each one today. So our June show is The Man Who Came to Dinner. It's a classic comedy by Moss Hart and George S. Kaufman. And I'm not going to give you the synopsis to these because you can go to the website, because I want to get to other things today. But The Man Who Came to Dinner is happening for 2 weekends, June 14th through the 23rd. And that's actually happening at our Page Street Studio Theater. If you haven't been to a show there yet, it's a fun, intimate venue. We're actually literally increasing the size of our playing area by 50% to make this show happen, just because it needs it. It needs it for the size cast that we have. So The Man Who Came to Dinner, June 14th to the 23rd at the Majestic Studio Theater in Manchester, 880 Page Street. I will tell you one good thing about all of our summer shows. They all happen in venues that are air conditioned. So especially if you don't have air conditioning at your house and you're looking for a good evening out of some fun and comedy and camaraderie with friends, then come to our theater, because the AC works and it works well. So Man Who